My precious child, you're not who you used to be, are you? Something inside you shifted. You've grown quieter, more guarded. You don't trust as easily. Your eyes meet the ground more than faces, not because you're weak, but because once you opened your heart to those who weren't ready to hold it with care. They didn't see how deeply you trusted, how you stayed silent when it would have been easier to scream, how you forgave when you were bleeding, how you held on to hope when everything around you told you to run. They never saw what it cost you, and they walked away, cold, fast, without a word. But I did. I saw it all, not just what you showed on the surface, but what you kept buried deep. I heard you whisper in the dark, "What's wrong with me?" I felt your guilt for simply being vulnerable, for feeling, for loving. And here is my answer to you. You are not broken. You're in restoration. You're not lost. You're on your way back to your true self. I don't glue pieces back together to make you look like before. I make you new, deeper, wiser, stronger. Where others left emptiness, I'm building strength. Where there was deception, I'm restoring truth. Where there was betrayal, I'm laying bricks of trust. Slowly, patiently, permanently. I'm not rushing you. I'm not asking you to smile again just yet. I'm not saying, just move on. I'm saying, come be with me, just as you are. Even tired, even uncertain. Even if all you have left is breath, that's enough for me. Because my love doesn't demand strength. It just stays. It holds. It heals. You don't have to fix yourself alone. I'm rebuilding you, gently, daily. And soon you'll see, what was torn down will become the foundation of your greatest freedom. My child, you don't have to carry it all. You've convinced yourself that strength means silence, that if you keep moving, if you keep smiling, no one will see the weight pressing on your chest. You've become a master of pretending. You say, "I'm fine," while your soul quietly trembles beneath the surface. But I don't need your act. I'm not asking for performance. I want your heart, as it is, not polished, not edited, just real. I see how long you've been holding everything in, the tears you swallow, the nights you lie awake, replaying what you wish you could change, the moments where hope flickers like a candle in the wind, barely there but somehow still burning. You don't need to be the strong one all the time. You don't need to hold others up while feeling like you're falling apart inside. You don't need to hide from me. Come as you are, not with answers but with honesty, not with strength but with surrender. I will not shame you for feeling too much. I will not push you away because you're tired of pretending. You think your silence protects you, but it only deepens the loneliness. Let me in, into the places even you avoid, into the thoughts that haunt you, into the longing you've never dared to speak out loud. I don't need you to prove anything. You are not loved for your performance. You are loved because you are mine. And when the mask finally slips, when the tears finally come, that's when my arms are already wrapped around you. This is where healing begins, not when you fight harder, but when you finally let go. My child, your scars do not disqualify you. You look at your past and see only failure. You replay mistakes like old songs you wish you could forget. You measure your worth by what went wrong, by what they said, by what you lost, by where you fell. And you've started to believe that maybe you're too broken to be used, too stained to be chosen, too damaged to be loved fully. But let me speak truth into that lie. Your scars are not signs of shame. They are signs of survival. They are reminders that you walked through the fire and didn't stay in the flames. Yes, you've been hurt. Yes, you've made choices you regret. But I never stopped calling your name. I never crossed your name out of my book. I never replaced you. I never gave up. You are still the one I chose. You are still the one I'm building. You are still the one I love. And no amount of sin, shame, or sorrow has changed that. You see the cracks? I see the vessel. You see the ashes? I see the altar. You see the end. I see the beginning of something beautiful. So stop disqualifying what I have already redeemed. Stop replaying what I've already forgiven. Your past doesn't cancel your future. It prepares you for it. You are not defined by the worst thing you've done. You are defined by the one who has never stopped loving you. And when I restore, I do not restore halfway. I make whole. I make new. I make holy. Let me show you who you really are. Not the version hurt by others, but the one I've known all along. My precious child, your silence has been heard. You've carried so many moments alone. Moments when words failed, when prayers felt hollow, when you didn't even know what to ask for. You stopped trying to explain because no one seemed to understand. You stopped reaching because you feared disappointment. You kept walking, but inside, something stopped. But I was there. In every breath you took without strength. In every tear you cried into your pillow. In every second you sat in stillness, hoping someone, anyone, would see. I saw, and I never looked away. You may think that because I didn't speak loudly, I wasn't listening. That because I didn't move instantly, I wasn't near. But sometimes, my silence is my embrace, holding you, waiting with you, honoring your process. You are not invisible to me, not your pain, not your confusion, not your slow return to hope. You are not weak because you've questioned. You are not faithless because you've wrestled. You are not alone because you've doubted. I'm not looking for the version of you that has it all together. I'm staying close to the one who barely held on. You've whispered to yourself, maybe I'm just too much. But to me, you are exactly enough. Let me remind you, it's okay to take your time. It's okay to not be okay. But don't believe the lie that I've left. Because even in your silence, your soul cried out. And I answered. My beloved child, I'm not asking you to go back. You keep wondering if you'll ever feel like yourself again. You look back at who you were before the betrayal, before the heartbreak, before the anxiety crept in and never seemed to leave. You miss your old joy, your spark, your lightness, but I'm not calling you back. I'm calling you forward, to someone stronger, deeper, and more whole. You've grieved the version of you that didn't know pain, but what if I told you that version wasn't the final version? What if the pieces that were broken are being remade, not just repaired? What if you are becoming someone who can't be shaken by what once destroyed you? You are not returning to who you were. You are rising into who you're meant to be. The joy you long for, it's not lost, it's maturing. It's becoming something you can carry through the storm, not just in the sunshine. Yes, some parts of you feel quiet now. Some parts feel guarded, but that doesn't mean they're gone. It means they're healing. It means I'm gently tending to what others wounded. You do not have to rush the process. You don't need to fake smiles or perform strength. You are safe with me, even in the slow moments, even in the confusion. Let the old fall away, child. Let the grief have room to breathe. Let me walk with you, not to where you were, but to where I've always planned to take you. And I promise, what's ahead is not a restoration of the past. It's a resurrection. It's life that will never be stolen again. My child, you don't have to pretend with me. You've become so used to holding it together for everyone else. You smile when you're breaking. You encourage others while silently wondering if you'll make it yourself. You're the strong one, the responsible one, the one others lean on. But, my child, who holds you? You've learned to function through pain. You've taught yourself to perform peace, even when your heart is storming. And yet, behind all of it, is a soul desperate to exhale. Let me be the one you collapse into. Let me be the one who knows without you explaining. You don't have to filter your emotions with me. You don't have to be okay to be loved. I'm not drawn to your perfection. I'm drawn to your honesty, to your sighs, to your tears, to your whispered prayers that say, God, I'm tired. You may feel like you're disappointing me when you struggle, but I want you to know, I'm not disappointed. I'm near. I'm not demanding more from you. I'm offering rest. You've carried so much alone. And I didn't create you to be self-sufficient. I created you to need me, Not because you're weak, but because we're meant to walk this together. So lay it down, child. The pressure, the performance. The pride that says, I'll figure it out. Let me meet you where you truly are, not where you pretend to be. Your mess doesn't push me away. It invites me closer. My child, I see your tired soul. You've been carrying so much for so long. Responsibilities you never asked for, emotions you never fully processed, fears you thought you had to silence just to keep going. You wake up already feeling drained. You press through the day with a smile that hides the ache. And at night you wonder, will I ever feel rested again? Let me speak into that weariness. I know the weight you carry, even the invisible parts. I know how exhausted you are from being strong, and I want you to know it's okay to rest. You don't have to keep proving your strength to me. You don't have to keep running at full speed to be valuable. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to breathe. You've believed that rest is earned, that you must finish, perform, complete, and then maybe you can stop. But I didn't design you to live that way. I didn't call you to burn out trying to be enough. You were already enough before you did anything. So let me carry what's too heavy. Let me quiet the noise that doesn't let you sleep. Let me refill what's been poured out. You are not selfish for needing rest. You are human, and I love every part of your humanity. Come to me, not with your strength, but with your surrender, and I will give you peace that no achievement could offer. You were not created to live on empty. You were created to live in me. My precious child, healing doesn't always look like you expect. You keep waiting for the day when the pain will vanish, when the memory won't sting, when the tears will stop falling. You think healing means forgetting, moving on, feeling nothing. But that's not how I work. Healing is not the absence of feeling. It's the presence of peace, right in the middle of your memory. You won't forget what happened, but you will stop believing it defines you. You won't erase the past, but I'll teach you how to walk forward without dragging its weight. You may still feel it sometimes, but over time, you'll notice it doesn't control you anymore. That is healing. I don't rush you. I'm not impatient with your process. I walk with you, one step at a time, and every step is sacred, even the shaky ones. There will be days when it hurts again, and those days don't mean you've failed. They mean you're still alive, still growing, still becoming. Let me use every moment, even the ones you hate, to shape something beautiful in you. Let me show you that the places where you once bled will one day bloom. You don't have to act like it never happened. You don't have to pretend you're fine. You simply have to let me in, into the honest, messy, real parts of your heart. Because I never asked you to hide your pain. I asked you to hand it to me. And when you do, healing begins, not with forgetting, but with knowing you're safe to remember. My child, your story is not over. You've stood at the edge more than once, wondering if anything good could still come from all of this. You've looked at the broken pieces of your life and asked, what's left to rebuild? You've whispered, maybe this is just who I am now. Tired, lost, too far gone. But I see something you don't yet see. I see a chapter that hasn't been written, a strength that hasn't fully awakened, a joy that's been buried, but not lost. You've defined yourself by what happened to you, but I define you by what I placed inside you before any of it happened. And what I placed in you, hope, purpose, identity, love, cannot be erased by trauma or time. It may feel buried beneath the ashes, but I'm in the business of resurrection. Your story isn't finished because I'm not finished. Every ending you feared would break you was just a doorway into something new. And every scar you thought would mark you forever, I'm turning into a testimony of grace. You are not stuck. You are not done. You are not too late. Let go of the belief that your best days are behind you, because what I have planned isn't a return to what was, it's a beginning of what will be. And no matter how far you feel from hope, it's closer than you think, because I am hope, and I never left. So breathe, my child. Lift your head. There is more ahead than what you've left behind. My beloved child, I will restore what they broke. You've been through things you didn't deserve. Words were spoken that cut too deep. Trust was broken by people who should have protected you. Love was offered conditionally, and when you needed it most, it was withheld. You've carried the silent question, will I ever feel whole again? And I say to you now, yes, you will. Not because time heals all wounds, it doesn't, but because I do. I restore what others shatter. I rebuild what life tried to destroy. You don't need to pretend you're okay. You don't have to say, I've moved on, when your soul is still aching. I don't ask you to fake healing. I invite you into real, lasting transformation. I don't just patch the surface. I go to the root, to the moment where things broke, and I speak life there. I know how deeply it hurt, how much you gave, how confusing it was when things fell apart despite your prayers. And still, I never abandoned you. I was there in the middle of the wreckage, not fixing from afar, but sitting with you in the ashes. You are not too broken. You are not too complicated. You are not beyond repair. I specialize in restoration, and what I restore, I make better than before. Let me take the fragments you're holding. Let me make them into something beautiful, not because the pain was beautiful, but because my grace is. This is not the end of your story. This is the part where I begin to build again. From love, for purpose, with hope. My child, I was with you in what they didn't see. There are moments no one else knows about. The ones where you held in tears during conversations. The nights you sat in silence, too exhausted to pray. The times you smiled while something inside you quietly shattered. You didn't talk about it. Not because you didn't want to, but because you didn't think anyone would understand. So you swallowed it, carried it, buried it, alone. But I was there. I was in the breath you managed to take, even when you wanted to disappear. I was in the decision to get up, even when everything in you wanted to stay down. I was in the pause before the breakdown, holding you, whispering, you're still mine. They didn't see the weight, but I did. They didn't notice how close you came to giving up, but I did. And I didn't flinch. I didn't pull away. I stayed. Because I never needed you to impress me. I came to love you, to walk with you, to carry you, not when you're perfect, but precisely when you can't carry yourself. You've wondered if those silent battles mattered to anyone. Let me tell you, they mattered to me. You are not invisible, not your pain, not your effort, not your heart that kept beating in spite of everything. And now, I'm writing strength into your soul where sorrow once lived. You're not behind, you're not weak. You are brave simply because you're still here. And I'm still here too, closer than breath. My child, I'm not rushing your healing. You've wondered if it's taking too long. If by now, you should have moved on, felt better, bounced back. You've questioned whether something is wrong with you because you're still carrying pain others have already forgotten. But I'm not disappointed in your pace. I'm not comparing your process to someone else's. I'm walking with you, not ahead of you, not behind you, with you. Healing isn't a race, it's a sacred journey, and I care more about your restoration than your speed. There will be days when you feel like you're moving backward. There will be moments when old wounds sting unexpectedly. But that doesn't mean you failed, it means you're human, and I'm still healing you. You don't have to pretend you're further along than you are. You don't have to meet some invisible standard to earn my presence. I already chose you. I already love you, exactly as you are. You're not a burden to me. You're not too much. You're my child, and I'm staying for every step. When you can't walk, I'll carry you. When you feel numb, I'll hold your heart. When all you can do is breathe, I'll be in that breath. There is no shame in needing time. There is no weakness in needing me. Let me write healing into your every breath. Let me remind you, your progress is real, even when it's quiet. And your heart is safe here, fully, completely, always.